The bell rang, and the classroom buzzed with energy. Laughter bounced off the walls as children shared stories of their summer vacations, trips to the beach, visits to grandparents, new games they had played. But in the very last row, by the window, sat a girl with chestnut brown hair tied neatly in a ribbon. Her name was Amelia Parker, the daughter of Richard Parker, a powerful CEO and one of the wealthiest men in the city. While the other children chattered loudly, Amelia sat silently, staring out of the window as if the world outside was far more comforting than the voices inside. Her silence wasn't new. It had been months since Amelia had spoken a single word in public. Teachers noticed, classmates whispered, and rumors spread like wildfire. "She thinks she's too important to talk to us," one boy muttered. "She's rich. She doesn't care about anyone here," another girl whispered to her friend. But none of them knew the truth. Amelia's silence wasn't pride, it was grief. Just 6 months earlier, Amelia's mother had passed away in a sudden accident, leaving a void that even her father's wealth and power couldn't fill. Since that day, Amelia locked her voice away, as if speaking would make the pain real all over again. The teachers tried everything. One encouraged her to join reading groups. Another offered her candy to answer questions. The school counselor even suggested therapy sessions. But Amelia remained silent, clutching her notebook tightly, her eyes filled with emotions she could not put into words. At home, things weren't better. Her father, though deeply loving, was always consumed by his business empire. Board meetings, late-night calls, endless responsibilities. He thought hiring the best specialists would help his daughter. But every professional failed. Amelia's silence remained unbroken. In the classroom, she was becoming invisible. Children stopped inviting her to games, assuming she didn't want to join. Teachers stopped calling on her, tired of waiting for an answer that never came. To the world, Amelia was the girl who wouldn't speak. But inside, she was the girl who couldn't. Then entered Mr. Lewis, a young teacher with tired eyes and a worn-out jacket. Unlike the others, he didn't come from money or privilege. His life outside school was filled with struggles, overdue bills, a mother in poor health, and a paycheck that barely kept him afloat. Yet, he carried something rare, a heart that noticed what others overlooked. From the very first day, he observed Amelia. The way her fingers tightened around her notebook whenever she was called upon. The way she looked at books, tracing the drawings as though they spoke to her in a secret language. And the way her eyes glistened with unshed tears whenever someone mentioned family. Mr. Lewis didn't see a spoiled child. He saw a little girl drowning in silence, desperate for someone to reach her. And in that quiet moment, watching her stare out of the window while the class laughed around her, he made a silent promise to himself: "I'm going to find a way to help her. Even if it takes everything I have." The sketchbook sat on Amelia's desk like an unopened secret. At first, she didn't touch it. Days passed, and Mr. Lewis never pressured her. He didn't ask, "Did you draw something?" Or, "Why don't you try?" Instead, he let it sit there quietly, like a silent invitation, waiting for her to decide when she was ready. The other students barely noticed, too busy with their own chatter and games. But Mr. Lewis noticed. He always noticed. Every time Amelia's fingers brushed over the cover, every time her eyes lingered on the sharp, untouched pencils, he knew she was thinking about it. Finally, one rainy afternoon, while the class worked on a group assignment, Amelia slowly opened the sketchbook. The crisp white page stared back at her, and for a moment, she froze, almost afraid. But then, gripping the pencil tightly, she began to draw. Her strokes were hesitant at first, shaky lines on the page. But as the minutes passed, the shapes took form, a small girl standing alone under heavy rain, holding the hand of a woman whose face was fading away. It was raw, haunting, and heartbreakingly beautiful. When the bell rang, the other children rushed out. Amelia quietly left her sketchbook behind, as if she was too scared for anyone to see. Later, when Mr. Lewis picked it up, his heart ached. He knew exactly what it meant. This wasn't just a drawing. It was Amelia's voice breaking through silence for the first time. The next day, he gently placed the sketchbook back on her desk with a sticky note inside. "This is powerful. Thank you for trusting me." Amelia didn't look up, but he noticed her cheeks flush pink as she carefully tucked the note inside the book. For the first time, Her silence didn't feel like distance, it felt like connection. From that day onward, Amelia began to draw every afternoon. Pictures of a little girl holding balloons, a house with one window dark, a chair at a dinner table left empty. Each drawing told a story no words could capture. And every time, Mr. Lewis responded with kindness. "That's beautiful, Amelia. I think I understand. You're braver than you know." Slowly, the walls she had built around herself began to crack. One evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the classroom in gold, Mr. Lewis sat beside her desk while she sketched. She hesitated, then whispered so softly he almost thought he imagined it. "Do you think my mom can see me?" The pencil in her hand shook. Her eyes filled with tears she had held back for months. Mr. Lewis swallowed hard, his own throat tight with emotion. He wanted to scoop her up and tell her the world would be okay, but instead, he placed a gentle hand on the desk and whispered back. "Yes, Amelia, she sees you. Every time you smile, every time you draw, every time you keep going, she's proud of you." Amelia blinked rapidly, her lips trembling. And though she said nothing more that day, something had shifted. The silence was no longer a prison. It was a bridge. For the first time since her mother's passing, Amelia had spoken. And she had chosen to speak to him. Mr. Lewis left the classroom that evening with tears in his eyes, whispering to himself. "She's coming back, little by little." The announcement spread across the school like wildfire. Talent and Expression Day was coming. Every student had to stand on stage and share something, whether a song, a poem, a story, or even a performance. For most children, it was an exciting opportunity. For Amelia, it was her worst nightmare. When Mr. Lewis first told the class about it, Amelia froze in her seat. Her heart pounded in her chest, her fingers gripping the edge of her desk. The thought of standing in front of hundreds of eyes, when she couldn't even speak a single sentence in class, was terrifying. Some of her classmates snickered. "She won't do it. She doesn't even talk. She'll probably just stand there like a statue." Mr. Lewis heard the whispers and felt anger rise inside him. But instead of scolding the children, he turned to Amelia with a gentle smile. "You don't have to speak if you're not ready. You can share in your own way." That night, Amelia sat on her bed, sketchbook in hand. Page after page, she poured her heart out. A little girl waving goodbye to her mother. A lonely swing in the park. A broken heart stitched together with tiny threads of hope. When the big day arrived, the auditorium filled with parents, teachers, and students. The stage lights glowed warmly, the air buzzing with anticipation. One by one, students stepped up and performed. Songs that earned applause, dances that made the crowd cheer, funny jokes that brought laughter. Then the announcer called, "Next, Amelia Parker." The room fell into a hush. All eyes turned to the millionaire's daughter, the silent girl. Amelia's knees trembled as she walked up the stairs, clutching her sketchbook so tightly her knuckles turned white. Mr. Lewis, standing near the edge of the stage, caught her eye. He gave her the smallest nod, as if to say, "You can do this. I believe in you." Taking a shaky breath, Amelia opened her sketchbook to the first drawing. She held it up for the audience to see. For a moment, the silence was unbearable. Her lips parted, and then, with a trembling voice, she spoke. "This is my story." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Amelia was speaking. Her voice was fragile, almost like it might break at any second, but it carried more strength than anyone could have imagined. She explained each drawing. The little girl in the rain, the empty chair at the dinner table, the heart stitched back together. "This was me. After my mom went to heaven," she whispered, tears filling her eyes. "I didn't know how to talk about it. So I stayed quiet. But my teacher, he gave me this sketchbook. And it helped me remember that even if I'm silent, I still have a voice." By the time she finished, the entire auditorium was silent. Not out of judgment, but out of awe. Tears streamed down the faces of parents and teachers alike. Even her classmates, who once whispered cruel things, sat with wide eyes, ashamed of their words. Then, slowly, applause began. First a few claps, then the entire hall erupted in thunderous cheering. Some stood, giving her a standing ovation. On the side of the stage, Mr. Lewis wiped his eyes, whispering to himself, "She did it. She really did it." For Amelia, it wasn't just a performance. It was freedom. For the first time since her mother's passing, she felt seen, heard, and understood. As the applause roared through the auditorium, Amelia stood frozen under the bright stage lights. Her small hands clutched the sketchbook, her chest rising and falling rapidly. For a moment, she looked terrified again, until she glanced to the side of the stage. There stood Mr. Lewis, tears glistening in his tired eyes, smiling as though she had just conquered the impossible. Her lips curved into the faintest smile. For the first time in months, Amelia felt something warm inside her chest, pride. Not the pride of being the daughter of a millionaire CEO, but the pride of finding her own voice again. In the front row, one man remained seated long after everyone else had stood. His face was pale, his hands trembling. It was Richard Parker, Amelia's father. The powerful CEO who commanded boardrooms with his words, who built an empire from nothing, who was feared and respected by rivals, yet now, he was just a father, broken and overwhelmed. Tears streamed down his face, and he didn't try to hide them. For months, he had thrown his wealth at the problem, hiring doctors, therapists, specialists, yet none of them had reached his daughter. All it took was one struggling teacher who gave her a sketchbook, patience, and unconditional kindness. As Amelia walked off the stage, the crowd still clapping, Richard rushed forward. He dropped to his knees and wrapped his arms around his daughter, holding her as if he'd never let go. His voice cracked as he whispered, "You spoke. My little girl, you spoke." Amelia buried her face in his shoulder. "Daddy, I missed Mommy so much." The entire auditorium went silent again, watching the millionaire CEO sob openly in front of them. But no one judged him. They understood. This wasn't about money, or power, or status. This was about love, loss, and the miracle of healing. After a long embrace, Richard stood and turned to Mr. Lewis, who had been watching quietly from the side, his hands folded humbly. Without hesitation, Richard walked straight to him. The room seemed to hold its breath as the wealthy CEO extended his hand, his voice thick with gratitude. "No amount of money in this world could do what you've done," Richard said, his voice breaking. "You gave me my daughter back. From this day forward, you're not just her teacher, you're family." Mr. Lewis, overwhelmed, shook his hand but quickly looked away, embarrassed by the sudden attention. He never did it for recognition. He did it because he believed no child should be left unheard. But Amelia wasn't embarrassed. She rushed forward and hugged him tightly, whispering, "Thank you, for hearing me." The crowd erupted into applause once again, not for wealth, not for power, but for compassion. Parents wiped their tears, students clapped until their palms were sore, and teachers who once doubted Mr. Lewis stood in silent awe. That day, Amelia didn't just find her voice. She taught everyone in that auditorium a lesson money could never buy. Sparkles, the greatest power in the world is kindness. And sometimes, the smallest act of patience can heal the deepest wounds.